What's up, YouTube? CHF here, bringing you a special episode of Coaching Handheld Football, starting off Defense 201. If you watched my earlier series, Defense 101, where I broke down formations and how to read man versus zone versus blitz coverage, this is what I talked about, where I was going to start breaking down every single play in the game and helping you identify pre-snap what plays are countered. If you have not seen my Defense 101 series, go ahead and check out the link in the description down below, and I will link to all 4 videos in the series. But this is the run section, so we are going to go through all 21 run plays that exist in the game. I'm going to show you how you can identify pre-snap whether that play is countered or not, so hopefully you are never blindsided by counters again. We will kick it off. Since it does require some editing, I'll probably only be able to do one of these a week. So go ahead, let's check out the 21 run plays, and I'll chat with you in a few minutes at the end. All right, guys, so the first play that we're going to start with is halfback counter, and it is a 3-4 blitz. You will see that the free safety comes to the line of scrimmage. This play can occasionally get some yards on lower medium counters, but overall, it is not a good run play. It is not one that I really use all that much in any situation, but we're going to run it again. First, we saw a low counter. As you can see, it's 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and the free safety comes to the line of scrimmage to blitz, and it just gets shut down. We'll try it one more time and show you the critical counter where we get absolutely blown up, and that is halfback counter. All right, guys, the next play we're going to run is halfback mid-draw, and it is a nickel man blitz. We know it is man coverage because the corners took a little stutter step right when we lined up, and they are going to blitz. This play is not a good play. Again, I'm going to include all run plays in this series, but this is not a play I recommend running really under any circumstances because as you see, whether it is a low, a medium, or even a critical counter, this play is not going to be solid against the counter, and it's not solid even when not countered. Alrighty, guys, the next play we're going to look at is fullback fake, halfback toss. It is a 3-4 blitz that we are facing, and you'll see that the linebacker comes to the line there, and this play against low or medium counters can actually get occasionally lucky and pick up some positive yards. This is not one of the better run plays in the game, so I really don't even recommend calling it. But if you do call it, this is how you'll recognize it. It's a 3-4 blitz coverage. There you go. Against even a low counter, you get blown up. And I'm going to keep running them until we hit critical counters. So you'll see here, we get a critical counter, and this play, you don't even get the toss off. Alrighty, guys, and the next play we're going to run is 4-5 base, which is a 4-3 blitz. You'll see that the free safety comes to the line of scrimmage, and you got nothing on this play. Against medium counters, you're going to get blown up. You're not getting positive yardage. And you'll see, here we go, another medium counter, or actually that was even a low counter, and we get blown up. And as you can guess, 4-5 base against a critical counter is absolute trash. Alrighty, guys, the next play in the book is halfback cutback, where you're up against a 4-3 man blitz. It's base 4-3 coverage, and the free safety comes to the line of scrimmage. As you can see, we get a critical counter off the bat and get obliterated. Against this one, we're going to try it and see how it goes against a lower medium counter. And you could potentially get some yards up against a low counter, and we'll run it a third and final time. And as you can see, you see this 4-3 man blitz, and you just get blown up. Not a good play. The next play we're going to run is strong eye halfback toss, which is a 3-4 base man coverage. We know that because we saw that the cornerbacks took a little step. This play is a great run play. It's definitely one worth using. It can break low, medium, and critical counters for positive yards under certain circumstances. It's usually best run flipped. We're going to keep running it until we hit the critical counter. I would normally flip it, but for the purpose of showing you this video, I'm just going to run everything to the right. But there we are. It was another medium, so we'll run it one more time to get a critical counter. And you'll see that even against a critical counter, we have the chance at making some positive yards out of it. We don't get it there, but that's how it works. The next play we're going to run is weak eye halfback gut, which is a 3-4 base man coverage. We know that because the corners took a tiny little step when we lined up. And this play can absolutely break low counters for sure. It didn't come up, but that was a low counter. We'll go ahead and run it up against a medium where, once again, you have the potential to break it for positive yards. This is a decent run. I recommend using it on first down. However, like most run plays, if you get a critical counter, you are going to get blown up pretty quickly. And that's weak eye halfback gut. The next play we're going to run is an absolute trash play. Trips halfback sweep. It's a dime zone coverage. We know it's zone because we did not see a tiny little step by the corners. And as you can see, this play, it's not good when it's not countered. And of course, like most other run plays, it is not a good play when countered. Running against counters is not a good idea. So if you see a high run soft counter percent in any game, basically just abandon the run, guys. It's not worth it to try to run against counters. Next, we have one of the few run plays that's pretty decent. Bunch halfback dive. It's a nickel zone blitz when it's countered, and we see that when they blitz up, but against low or medium counters, you can get positive yards with this play. So here we go. We broke the low counter. We're going to run against the we get a critical out the bat here. So we're only going to see criticals, but low or medium counters, you can break for a decent yards with bunch halfback dive. The next play we're going to look at is weak eye fullback dive, and it is a 3-4 base man coverage. We know that because the corners took a tiny little step. And this play, we hit a critical out the gate, and it obviously does not work. However, against lower medium counters, as you can see here, we do get a chance to get some positive yards, and it is a decent play. It is one that I can use from time to time, but like most runs, criticals are brutal. Next, guys, is my favorite run play in the game, trips tight end halfback counter. It is a nickel man blitz that signifies counter formation. And what you want to do when it's countered is go right up the middle. Against low or medium counters, you can get positive yards. Like any run play, against critical counters, it is not a good play, with the exception of halfback toss. And as you can see there, we hit the critical, and we're going to lose yards. But this is absolutely one of the best, if not the best, run plays in the game. And as you can see there, we get the critical counter and still get yards. Next, guys, is halfback off tackle. It's a nickel man blitz. We know that because the corners took a little stutter step. This is a garbage play uncountered, and it is also a garbage play countered. If you get lucky against a low counter, you can maybe gain a few yards like we did there. However, against medium and critical counters, it is not a good play. I do not recommend using this play really under any circumstances. It just has no real utility, and there is always a better option. But if you do decide to call it, this is how you can recognize whether the play is countered or not. The next play we're going to look at is motion QB draw. It is a nickel man coverage when we are looking at counter formation. This is not a great play. Some people can get positive yards with it. It can occasionally, if you get lucky, get some decent yards on a low counter, but against a medium and a critical counter, it's not a good run play. Really, against critical counters, run plays are not good in general. However, this particular play, when you see the critical counter in just a moment, you're just going to see it gets blown up. Plus, quarterbacks are not like running backs. They are far more likely to fumble the ball, so I do not recommend using this play really ever. Next, we are going to look at trips halfback stretch, which is a dime zone blitz coverage. We see that it is not man because they don't take a stutter step, and the strong safety is going to come to the line to blitz. And this play is one of the better run plays in the game. We hit a medium counter there and we get blown up, but it can occasionally get positive yards against low and medium counters. Against critical counters, it's going to get blown up like just about every other run play, but it's still uncountered a great play and is one of the few runs that I think does have some use in the game. Next, we're going to look at strong eye halfback blast, which is a 3-4 zone coverage for when it's countered. And this play against low or medium counters can gain positive yards. In fact, against low counters, you can sometimes even take it to the house. It is a good play. It's definitely a first down run play. Unfortunately, it does not always get positive yards on lower medium counters, but like any run play against a critical counter, expect to get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Next, guys, we're going to look at trips tight end off tackle, which is a nickel zone blitz, and this is not a good play. The free safety comes to the line. This play is trash, uncountered, and when it's countered, you're really not going to be able to do anything, so I do not recommend calling this play really under any circumstances, but I'm going to run it 3 times just like everything else. We see the free safety comes to the line, and there's just nowhere to go. That's the problem with this play, is there's really nowhere to go when it's uncountered or countered. Next, we're going to look at halfback dive weak, which counter formation is a 3-4 man coverage, and this is absolutely a good run play. If you get lucky, you can break it on low, medium, and occasionally even critical counters for big yards, but not always. It is just not reliable enough to break counters, but this is a phenomenal play. I normally like to flip it, but for the purpose of this video, I'm not. Next, we're going to look at spread halfback sweep, which is a nickel man blitz. We see the man coverage based on the cornerbacks and the free safety coming to the line to blitz. And this play, it's not a good play. While you can get occasionally a few yards off of a low counter, it's not reliable enough when it's not countered to warrant ever being called. And as you can see, when you hit a medium or critical counter, you are going to get blown up, lose yards, so this play can honestly be removed from your playbook. At least it's removed from mine. Next, we're going to look at weak eye double counter, which is counter formation by a 3-4 base man coverage. This is one of my favorite run plays. I like to run it on first down. If you're lucky, you can get positive yards on a low counter. Medium and critical, not so much. I do tend to flip this play when I'm normally calling it, but for the purpose of this series, again, I'm just calling the plays. But there you can see, against a critical counter, like any run play, it's going to get blown up. But weak eye double counter, 3-4 base man. Next, guys, is end around, which is another 3-4 base man coverage counter. And this is not a good play. It can occasionally be used under a few various random kind of situations. It can break a low counter if you get lucky, but not every time. And honestly, compared to FL reverse, I will say I like end around better, but these plays are slow to develop. They're not that great when not countered, and as you can see, when you face a higher counter, they're awful plays and you're going to lose a lot of yards, especially when you hit a critical counter. They're going to come through quickly, hit you quickly, and you get nothing. And the final run play of the game, FL reverse, is a 4-3 base zone coverage. And this play is garbage, guys. It is too slow to develop. There may be a situation where you can maybe make something happen, but not when it's countered. Granted, nobody's going to counter this play, but if you see this 4-3 base zone coverage, be afraid because you're going to lose yards, and you're going to lose a lot of yards. So this is the final play, guys, and you'll see it here on the critical counter. It's trash. So there it is, guys, all 21 run plays in the game reviewed to show you what a low, medium, and critical counter looks like. Hopefully this helps for identifying pre-snap whether you can expect to gain yards off of a play or not. We'll continue with this series next week where I break down every single long pass in the game, showing off what the pre-snap read for counter formation is and which plays can do well against low, medium, and critical counters. If you like this video or what I'm trying to do here on this channel, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hang out with me for a week or two, track your scores. I promise they will go up if you implement not only the plays, but the philosophy behind what I'm doing. And if you want to see what I do, when I do it, hit that bell icon to join the notification squad. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow where I resume the LVL vlog. CHF out.